Oh dear. Oh dear. We know we've behaved badly when we get caught, and our first reaction is to hide away. It's a sure sign that we're about to be sanctioned, that the control of the society around us is about to tighten and explain to us in very clear terms that our behaviour isn't up to scratch. I'm Captain Sociology, and surely by now you have seen the KissCam video of Andy Bryan and Kristen Cabot, the CEO and CPO of Astronomer, getting caught hugging someone who wasn't their own spouse. I was super curious about this because, well, it's the 21st century, and so much of our behaviour is controlled by what we believe other people will say about us or how they will react to our behaviour. And it was interesting to me that in a post women's liberation world, where we have significantly changed sexual mores compared to the 1950s, that we would still see this kind of reaction to an extramarital affair. And yet the world has been utterly united on the complete inappropriateness of this behaviour. You'd think that because they are the CEO and the CPO of a billion-dollar business, that they would have a different, more restraint on their behaviour. But we know through cultural transmission theory that when people around you behave in an inappropriate way, that you are more likely to adopt that behaviour. It's actually pretty uncommon for people at this end of the income spectrum to have affairs compared to the bottom of the socioeconomic scale. It's not impossible, but it means that if I were you and I had money invested in Astronomer, I would be doing some digging around because it's very, very normal for people with very bad personal behaviour, such as we saw from these two C-suite executives, that they actually aren't managing things well in the business. It's really, really common. And interestingly, people at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum are much more likely to have affairs. And it's thought that that's because when they first meet, they meet in public spaces, much more than private and controlled spaces, which is where people at the high end of the socioeconomic spectrum meet. And so they're more likely to engage in private behaviour much more quickly because they don't have those controlled spaces to engage with each other in. It's also because people at the high end of the socioeconomic spectrum are much more likely to look for partners who are going to increase their value. And again, as I said, we know that people who have poor personal discipline are much more likely to have poor financial and work discipline as well. We also see people at the bottom end of the socioeconomic spectrum experience a lot more strain, most in the financial space particularly. And so meeting personal needs through non-conforming behaviour is much more common. It's not that having sex with someone necessarily makes you less strained, but it is a way of meeting personal needs, of feeling needed, wanted, effective, in a way, with non-conforming means. I mean, it's simply that. Non-conforming goals, normal goals in this case, and non-conforming means. Whereas we'd have to say that a C-suite executive having an affair is actually non-conforming goals, non-conforming means. It's very unusual, although we hear about it a lot because I guess it stands out to us. Why would someone who has everything we think should be controlled by the social controls of being attached, having shared belief with society, all of that, we think that they should be completely controlled, but they often are not. So it's a very interesting response to different kinds of strain. Anyway, I've been Captain Sociology. We should talk more about family.